Hello, my fellow readers and I, Dark Symphony 777 fan fiction reading. As always, a link to the story will be in the description below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on that bell for notifications, and leave a comment in the comment section below on your thoughts of the fan fiction of the reading, as well as any other future fan fictions you want me to read or review. So the story I'm doing is the first Snozzcumber. The first I'm probably going to be butchering this word to Kingdom Come. The first Snozzcumber. Alright, I managed to do it. And it's a BFG, Big Friendly Giant, if you don't know what that means. Not big effing gun, you know, or stuff like that. It is written by A.J. Vasquez. After being captured, the giant slowly comes to the reality of having to eat Snozzcumbers for the rest of their lives. Okay? I don't know what Snozzcumbers are, but I'm guessing they're horrible. So let's get started. After being captured, one grammar error. Blood bottler, after being captured, blood bottler, all her cared about was oh my god, no, that's already two. This is gonna be bad. Oh, let's just hope I don't cringe from this entire story. Once the blasted runt had been taken out of the hole and threw down the first of the Snozzcumbers, all he wanted to do was squish the rotten vegetable, which he did, which they all did. Apart from howling and cursing the puny little human as he quacked down at them. Is that even a word, quack? U-W-A-R. Cool. Okay, A-K-E-D. If this is a real word, I'm gonna be flabbergasted. No, it's not a real word. I'm pretty sure the author was going for galt. I'm pretty sure. We have got to be getting out of here. I agree, but how you figure we do that? We can climb out. So they tried for much of the first day. However, try as they might, no matter how firm a grip they got into the walls, not one of them came close to reaching the top. We could try and stand on each other's heads. And whose head should be on the bottom, and whose will be getting on top out of here. I will be on the top. No, I don't know if this is done on purpose. Because it sounds like the giants are not exactly that smart. They had a pretty rough rumble, punching each other's teeth out, and after they recovered from all their bruising, Blood Bottle won the right to stand top, while Butcher Boy was stuck on the bottom. Stop squirming, Blood Bottler complained as he climbed over the other giants. I ain't, and you is coming back for us, right? Blood Bottler hesitated with his hamster. Of course I is. Though the truth was, he had no idea how he was going to do that. He supposed her could pull the second topmost giant, Gizzard Gulper, out if he had a good reach. As for the others, he was sure to think of something. But first, he would eat every little bean he could get his hands on. He would not savor them at first. Oh no, he would only eat just to eat. He might even eat more human beings than he could stomach and would have to regurgitate them. Then, however, he would eat the queen. He'd eat her nice and slowly, right after he stepped on all her gods. Maybe he would take the time to pop off their pointy hats first, eat them. But the queen? He would make sure to eat nice and slowly to savor every bite. At last, he reached the last giant on the tower, as the other giants below hissed at him to hurry up. I is moving. Don't worry, your runt, he grinned. Then stepped upon Gizzard Gulper's head, reached to the top, expecting to find the edge of the pit, only to run his arm across the dirt wall. I'm not reaching the top. Come on, you mags, get me higher. The other giants groaned, but did as they were told and started to stand on their tiptoes. I is still not there, he cried, looking at the top, so close, yet so far. We can't get any taller, they protested. Then the tower began to wobble. Knowing that they would not hold for long and that they never agreed to do this again, Blood Bottle squirted down upon Gizzard's head and jumped. He put in all he could with that jump, and he soared. He got higher and higher, and it looked as if he was going to make it for the humans that had gathered to look on in their escape attempt. Most ran away from the pit, screaming, eyes widening, Blood Bottle's mouth open, tongue hanging out. He started greedily at his supper that night. All their screams and fear would do was make him tenderer. Unfortunately, while the engineers claimed the pit was too high for all of them, even with standing on their heads to get out, that didn't mean there weren't precautions taken in case one of them found a way to come close. Fire! A soldier called out. Now they were under the Queen's orders not to kill giants unless they got out and started to gobble up the people. However, there are other ways to stop a giant from leaping out of the pit. From one of their edges, a soldier had cranked up a sling that holstered a Snozzcumber, giving the order to fire. He wasted no time launching the disgusting vegetable at Thailand. Excuse me. He wasted no time launching the disgusting vegetable at the giant. It soared through the air, and as Blood Bottler's hand was just about to make contact with the edge of the pit, the Snozzcumber smacked him on his head, slowing down his ascent. Now, while most of it swashed on his head, a lot of it remained solid and hard upon impact. An impact Blood Bottler felt. He cursed in pain and brought both his hands to his head. This, of course, proved to be rather dumb, as one of those hands had come within meters of reaching the pit's edge. By the time Blood Bottler realized this, he had already begun his descent back down to the bottom. He tried to dig his hands into the wall, but already he was going too fast, and his hopes of freedom were already long gone. Fortunately, or rather unfortunately in this case, as the days would drag on, the fall didn't kill him. Instead, he landed on top of Snozzcumber, who caused Butcher Boy's legs to give in, causing all of them to crash into the pit on one another. That was a fine plan, mate Drip complimented. Shut it, Blood Bottler hissed as he threw a fist into Snozzcumber's face, which soon resulted in another free-for-all that the human spectators cheered on as they watched from the safety of above. 3 more days had passed, and none of them were any closer to getting out of the pit to resume their cannibalistic desires. They tried to dig out and up through the sides, to which the engineers had already installed thick concert walls. Oh god, more bad errors. To prevent just that. They tried to dig under the concrete walls, only to have London's rain ruin their work. They tried again this time, having their lightest on top, only to be met with the same fate Blood Bottler came when he nearly got up. They even came dangerously close when they needed a 60-foot pile of dirt with which to stand on, which would have worked if not for the London's rain that made the piles of dirt turn into sloshy gobs of mud and sank quicker than the giants were able to wait for the piles to dry. Climb on and get out before the next shower arrived. It was their 5th day in the hole, and still Blood Bottler had refused to touch his Snozzcumber. Yet he was getting hungry. How long has it been since he tasted human flesh? What was the last thing he and... he remembered. That little boy. Oh, how he chuckled, the boy wriggled in his grasp. Oh, god dang, this is so cringy. How he tried to scream for help. Before he could even realize what was going on, Blood Bottler had bitten down on his head. And oh, how tasty those other children were. The flavor, while not his favorite, complemented the Eskimos he had eaten the night before, of course. If he was known that would be the last time he would eat humans, he might have gone to Switzerland. So swore sweet Swiss. Hey, you miserable creatures! A human shouted from below. Blood Bottler looked up to see 3 human beings on the fence wall, pulling down their trousers. Yeah, another one hiccuped. Ah, the crap on you, you monsters! You ate me, little girl and boy. If I could, I'd nuke. He cried, falling over and dragging his 2 buddies with him. They crashed onto the floor, dead instantly. Yeah, as much as the giants are kind of not exactly nice people, they kind of deserve that by saying, hey, we're going to get drunk over a 100,000-foot hole, and pray nothing happens. Fortunately for the giants, they landed in one of the ruined, muddy dirt piles they tried to escape on. So otherwise, the beans were rather intact. Beans! Mitt Dripper roared with delight. Gimme! Of course, having only 3 tiny humans to share between the 9 giants, there was some fierce competition for the meat. They punched and clawed. Manned and swatted, but in the end, each was able to get some bits of human, some more than others. As for Blood Botter, he was only able to get one of the legs. Cradling it in his hands, he suckled away from the other giants to enjoy his prize. Looking down, his mouth began to water, and slowly raised to his mouth. It was possible the last bit of meat he would have for a while, so he might as well enjoy it. However, once it was in his mouth, he realized, "Blah! 'Tis a greasy human!" So all that thought of saying, "Hey, we're gonna eat some meat, some beans," and it's like, "There's a human!" I don't know, greasy? I don't know if that's supposed to be like dirt or drunk or a giant's term for, hey, so past my sell-by date. So we got that. 5 more days passed, but Blood Botter was getting mighty hungry, and I was tempted to kill one of the other giants for their blood. He didn't try any more so than the others, because even the tiniest of them could just as easily beat and eat him given the chance. So there was a silent pact between them not to eat one another. Dinner time, the keepers called up from above. Shortly after, as it had always been, 5 Snozzcumbers were dropped below, and it started as 9, but once it was realized that not all of them would eat every single day, and possibly keep the leftovers to stand on to try and escape, the rations had been lowered, which was fine with the giants as well. Sometimes they would fight over who would have to eat that day, but most times one would let his hunger outweigh his disgust. Today, one of the Snozzcumbers rolled towards the bottler. He looked at it as it rolled upon his toe, eyes narrowed, hatred growing. He raised his foot with every intention to squash it. A roaring in his stomach told him otherwise. Sighing and defeated, he picked it up and held it to his face, supposing he already knew what to expect. Perhaps it would be too bad. That runt had managed to get some of these things down, so how bad could it be? Now that it was all he had to eat, maybe if he pretended it was a human being, then maybe it would somewhat taste like one. Perhaps some of his less favorite beans, but a bean nonetheless. A few of the other giants had even said they were getting used to the horrible taste, so maybe he could too. Maybe one day he would get out and eat humans again. Maybe he would eat green and rip the limbs off the runt who put them down here. For today, he would eat his Snozzcumbers to come. It tasted just as bad as it had that first time. So that's the story. It's just basically giants getting hungry. I didn't find that funny. It fit the fantasy. I didn't find it that funny. I give it a 2 out of 5. Or because I think I like the idea. It's just there's so many grammar errors with the dialogue. I guess it's fine because it looks like that's how the giants speak. So I can get this the giants act talking like, oh, like eyes will be on top. Those eyes will. I can see the giants talking like that. I guess that was the intention with the giants. However, everything outside the dialogue, there's a lot of bad sentence structure, a lot of grammar errors. Wow, I did like the idea of like the giants having to stomach their pride. They can't eat humans. They're stuck with this food they don't like. Put up or shut up. They tried. We'll get our revenge, but not now. Overall, I don't really like the story. It's just not for me. It's not even that funny outside the whole greasy humans joke. Mainly because I thought that was at least set up relatively well. Of just saying, "Hey, some beans! Oh, this is human!" and stuff like that. But overall, it's a below average story. It doesn't do anything really good, but it doesn't do it. But it's not garbage enough that I can't give it anything lower than a 2. So that's my reading of the first Snozzcumber. This has been Dark Symphony 777, and